Hey guys, so I got the Dark Samus and Richter Amiibos a couple days ago. So the sculpts for these are pretty cool. Dark Samus's I really like, but I generally just really like Dark Samus's look in the game in general, so I knew the sculpt was going to be sweet. As for Richter, it's alright. I mean, it's a pretty cool standard sculpt. I like Simon's better just because Simon is actually using the whip, and I just think that looks cooler in a figure. So that's the end of the base roster, plus Piranha Plant, who kind of came out randomly. So yeah, I now have the full base roster of Smash Ultimate in Amiibos. I will probably do some just like big Amiibo display type video pretty soon here. I'm moving soon to a new apartment, so I'm going to be able to display all my games and collectibles and stuff like that much better. And I know a lot of people have wanted me to do like a room tour or something, and I've kind of been saying, well, so much of my stuff is boxed up, it wouldn't really be worth it. But when I move into that new apartment and I start displaying everything, I think I'm going to be able to do, some sort of video like that, either a room tour or at least like an Amiibo one, maybe a room tour later down the line or something like that once I have everything all set up. But yeah, moving to a new apartment soon here. I think probably by like mid-February I'll probably have some stuff set up nicely enough to be like, hey, let's go over like my full Amiibo collection or something like that. So I will do a video like that in the near future here. I know it's been like a week since Byleth was revealed, and I will do an after Byleth theories and leaks and rumors and speculation video. I've been compiling stuff for that. I always give it, about a week or so before I actually make a video on that. But one is coming, so I will address all the cool stuff that's happened in the aftermath of Byleth. I know there's a few major things that have happened in the past week or so that people have been asking me about and want my thoughts on. One thing would be the Doom Guy interview that Bethesda gave, where they basically said Nintendo has never approached them about Doom Guy. I'm kind of like 50-50 on it. I think it's probably the biggest hit against Doom Guy we've gotten so far. But keep in mind, Grant Kirkhope said don't hold your breath about Banjo. I believe somebody said something about Bayonetta not getting in Smash before she got in. I think SNK did an interview where they said if they got a character, they'd put in like this dog character, and we did get Terry. So characters have had their companies basically deflect under like an NDA, but this particular interview sounded a lot more like Bethesda was straight up saying Doom Guy is not coming to Smash. So it seemed more definitive and straightforward than those other ones, which felt a little more deflecting, but it's always possible that they were just under NDA and can't say anything about Doom Guy actually being in Smash, and just, basically said he's not coming, but maybe he is. So I don't know, I'm kind of 50-50 on that one. Another thing a lot of people have asked me about is Mandy Can Not. This is a Twitter user who correctly predicted Byleth would be our newest character. They also correctly predicted a few other things, such as Smash not being at the Game Awards, and they're now saying that Crash is going to be the next fighter. I have talked to Mandy Can Not, and I'm not sure what to think of this one. It's very possible they're doing what's called the Twitter trick. Basically, you make an account, you don't follow anyone, so no one notices your account, you post a ton of predictions. You can say Byleth is the next fighter, you can say Cosmos is the next fighter, you can say Doom Guy is the next fighter, and then you just delete all the wrong ones, keep the correct predictions, such as saying both Smash is going to be at the Game Awards, Smash is not going to be at the Game Awards, and you delete the one it isn't. And then once you have a few things correctly predicted, you all of a sudden start following people, people notice your account, and then it looks like you've predicted a bunch of stuff. So since Mandy Cannot really didn't come to prominence until after Byleth's reveal, I can't rule that out. Again, I have actually talked to them, and they seem like a pretty cool person from me talking to them, but I just simply cannot rule out the Twitter trick until we see if Crash is indeed the next fighter. Speaking of Crash, I also had someone back in late October who showed me a picture of Smash X Cuphead and said Cuphead was going to be a Sans-style Mii costume. And this was the first time I'd ever talked to this person, and it was the only thing they ever leaked to me. However, this was a, my dad works at Nintendo situation, and the screenshot of Smash X Cuphead was really blurry, so I just sort of took it as, hey, maybe I'll, keep this one in mind. And I honestly sort of, totally forgot about it, and then when we did get the Cuphead Mii costume, I couldn't even find the person's direct message again. I get, hundreds of direct messages, so for me to go find somebody if I don't remember their name, it's really tough. But But they messaged me back, and they're now saying that Crash is the next fighter. The thing is, the image they showed me with the Smash X Cuphead, it has like a white background instead of a black background, and in the Direct we got one with a black background. So it's the sort of thing that's like really easy to fake. It's honestly why I didn't pay too much attention to it, because it was just an image of words on a blurry screen. Those are almost always wrong. But this is the only thing this person has told me about. It's the only thing they've ever leaked, and it was right. I know in retrospective it's like, oh, it's not that hard to guess, but it's a little tough to guess, to not be like, hey, Ori is going to be a Sand-style Mii costume, or Hollow Knight's going to be a Sand-style Mii costume, and instead go with Cuphead and that be the only leak. It's something, and now they're saying Crash, which lines up with Mandy Cannot. It lines up with what the person who had the Mii costume list back before Terry, the one that had like Gomon, Rocket Grunts, Mallow, Smithy, was also saying Crash. So I don't know. It seems like a lot of people are saying Crash here. I'm not sure what to think of this person who leaked the Cuphead Sand-style Mii costume, whether or not it's just a lucky guess. I'm not sure, but I figured I'd let you guys know about that one. I'll do a deep dive into like all this stuff again in like a Byleth, after Byleth speculation video that I'll come out with pretty soon here. Now, I was doing these Amiibo videos with me like waiting in my car to go buy these things, but lately it just seems like they're not that hard to get. Generally, the stores get enough of them. I really don't have to sit outside for like an hour waiting. So I think my last video was also just in my room. I think I was talking about Kappa or whatever, the YouTube thing that went down, and nothing has happened. I haven't heard anything about it hurting anybody's channel, so I guess that was a big a flop. Basically, everybody got scared over nothing. But generally, I was using these videos to tell like stories, so I have a pretty good one that's somewhat relevant to something that happened recently. So after Byleth got revealed, the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter posted something really funny. They basically suggested that Froggy, like Big the Cat's friend, the little frog that you're supposed to like find in Sonic Adventure or like fish for, it should be a character in Smash, that like that's a worthy character to get into Smash. And I have a pretty good Big the Cat story. So when I was growing up, my town had a KB Toy Works. It was like a KB Toys, if you've heard of that chain of toy stores. It was a lot like a Toys R Us rival. They went under a decade or so ago. Toy stores, man, they've really just taken a hit. It would stink growing up as a kid today, and all the toys are just like the toy section like Walmart or Target. Like, that's rough. But anyway, we used to have a KB Toy Works in my town. It's a huge toy store, and I love the place. But around when I was in, like, I think it was, I don't know if I was graduating high school, but around high school, it was going out of business. When it was going out of business, they had a bunch of stuff on sale, like super, super cheap. The last like week or two there, they had like bins of action figures and stuff like that, but they were kind of like the not good action figures. I think most people call them shelf warmers, the ones that don't sell. So, if we're talking Amiibos, it would be like the Animal Crossing Amiibos that you can find at like Big Lots or the dollar store or Five Below these days. Now, obviously, back then they didn't have Amiibos, but what they did have were some Sonic Adventure action figures. But the only one they had left was Big the Cat, but they had like a bin full of Big the Cat action figures, and they had been marked down to like pennies at this point. Well, for my birthday that year, one of my friends went to that store and bought like 8 Big the Cat action figures, wrapped them up, and gave them to me for my birthday. So I was just opening up Big the Cat action figure after Big the Cat action figure. I'm pretty sure I still have them. I think they're in the attic of my mom's house, so I should probably try to go dig those out, because having like 8 Big the Cat action figures would be pretty funny to display in the background of one of these videos. The other thing I remember about that KB Toy Works going out of business has to do with Conker's Bad Fur Day. This is upsetting to think back on this, but at the time they had like stuff for sale really cheap, and they had a video game section, and the video game section, they basically only had like certain games, but they had a huge surplus of them. And I remember the N64 games they had, the only ones they had were Perfect Dark and Conker's Bad Fur Day, but they had a ton of them, and they were marked way down, and these are like sealed Conker's Bad Fur Day. And if you know anything about game prices and N64 game prices, Conker's Bad Fur Day is up there in price. And I remember these being really cheap, and they had like, I don't know, 40 to 60 of them or something on display. And those were the only games they had, because Perfect Dark and Conker's Bad Fur Day were like later N64 games, and they were marked way down, and I didn't buy any of them. I don't even think I still have the box for my copy of Conker's Bad Fur Day, but man, if I just bought a bunch of cheap ones, bought like, like 20 of them and kept them, those would be worth a pretty good amount at this point. The whole company went under, so I imagine a bunch of those just got thrown out. So at one point, there was probably a dumpster full of sealed inbox Conker's Bad Fur Days somewhere, and that's kind of upsetting. Speaking of getting a whole bunch of something, the thing with like gifting me a bunch of Big the Cat action figures was not the first time my friends did something like that. This was kind of a running joke to just like pick something stupid and wrap it up and give it multiple times to someone as a gift. One of the funniest ones was my friend Matt actually gave his dad the movie Little Man. It's like, I think it's a Wayne's Brothers movie. Him and all his brothers, and I don't know if his mom or whatever, all gifted his dad one year for Christmas Little Man on DVD. So they have like 10 copies of Little Man in their house, and that was pretty funny. Okay, and then I got one more story that relates to DVDs because I feel like the world needs to hear about this because it's one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. So way back in like 2005 or so, I remember I was at a Blockbuster Video. If you guys remember Blockbuster Video, and they had DVDs for sale, and one of the DVDs they had on sale was a movie called Coach Carter. It's a Samuel L. Jackson like basketball movie about him being like the coach of like this basketball team or whatever. I've never actually seen the movie, but I do own it. And the reason I own Coach Carter on DVD is because I was in that Blockbuster Video and I saw it for sale, and that DVD came with a special promotional gift. The gift was a t-shirt, and so sounds like a pretty standard, promotional extra item you'd get with a DVD. I think I've seen DVDs still today that come with like a t-shirt of the movie or something like that. However, this t-shirt was a little different than you'd expect. It wasn't a picture of the movie cover, it wasn't a picture from the movie, it wasn't a picture of Samuel L. Jackson's character, it wasn't even really the title of the movie, though it is written on the shirt. It is a plain white t-shirt, and it does say Coach Carter on it in the most boring font possible, but it doesn't just say Coach Carter. So this is not just a t-shirt with just, plain text on it that says Coach Carter that you could just, iron on yourself or get from some like, t-shirt making store or something like that. No, this shirt says Coach Carter on DVD. The t-shirt itself doesn't just advertise the movie or that you're a fan of the movie, it advertises that you're a fan of the fact that Coach Carter is now on DVD. I don't know who would wear this t-shirt or where they thought it was a good idea to add under the words Coach Carter on DVD to a t-shirt you get with the DVD. I still have the shirt, so here, check this out. There we go. It's Coach Carter on DVD. That's what it says. I don't know who would wear this. I can't imagine putting that on and walking around and being like, check it out. I'm a fan of the fact that Coach Carter is on DVD. I still watch stuff on DVD just because I don't feel like upgrading to Blu-ray, but DVDs are slowly, fading away. That's just the way things are. So it's like having something on VHS as a t-shirt. It's ridiculous. I thought it was so funny that I bought the whole movie just to get the t-shirt, just to own it so I could still have it today and show it to you guys, show it to the world. I found that absolutely hilarious back in the day. Alright, well I've been rambling on about nothing here for a while. I do hope we see the rest of the DLC character Amiibos pretty soon. We didn't get any look at that, and I'm really excited specifically for the Banjo-Kazooie Amiibo, so I can't wait to see those. Maybe the Hero Amiibo will get like a 4-pack or something. That'd be sweet. And like I said earlier, I am working on a speculation after Byleth video, so that will come out hopefully fairly soon here, and I'll do a much deeper dive into all the things I talked about earlier in this video regarding speculation and much more. So look forward to that. So once again, thank you guys for all the subscribes, all the likes. Really helps out the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, or like the video, or leave a comment, whatever you want. Until next time, have a good one.